The Extreme Makeover design team has only 7 days to rip down and rebuild absolutely everything.
It's the show that wanted to make the world a better place, one house at a time.
We take a family that has gone through some kind of hardship and make over their house in 7 days.
Bus driver!
There was this huge house in front of us, and I think you could maybe see that on my face. I was like,
I will never, ever forget that feeling. I was excited.
The house was a dream.
That moment never got old. That was a drug that I did not want to stop.
But when something seems like it's too good to be true, it's because it often is.
Altruism was a happy accident. They are getting rich off of your story.
Working with the producers on the show was a little intense.
It didn't seem like the producers really cared about how we felt.
Extreme Makeover has a secret wish list of victims the show's trying to hunt down.
Does that make us bad?
For some, the gift of a new home comes at a huge cost.
They ended up building basically the biggest house we've ever seen.
The house is now a monstrosity of a house.
I could imagine their electric bill would probably triple. Maybe they weren't expecting that.
my mom was emotionally distressed about how we were gonna make it month to month. I don't think they understand the repercussions of what they were doing.
Heartbreak for a Michigan family.
Her dream home has become a nightmare.
That's when we realized that we were just a show for them. The story's still running, that we're happy, but yet we have nothing.
God, now I feel like I'm gonna watch the show and you will reveal some up thing.
In the early 2000s, if you didn't like something about your house, there was a show out there ready to give it a makeover.
Open your eyes.
Whoa! There weren't a lot of home makeover shows, but they really caught on, and people started getting excited about the idea of like, oh, I could do that to my home.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I love it.
We used to hear about what would happen on Trading Spaces, where there were a lot of like really crazy ideas happening, like gluing hay onto walls.
The wall is a little bit funky. I'm not sure about the straw action here.
You know, just super cheap budget makeovers.
Holy Christ!
These lo-fi shows lean hard on the huge reactions from the people taking part.
Wow.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Just like another makeover show over on ABC. Only that one is a little more extreme.
At the time, back in 2003, ABC had the show Extreme Makeover, which was all about people undergoing extreme plastic surgery to become what they want to become.
This is the kind of ideology that was permeating reality TV at the time. You couldn't become something better unless you looked a very particular way. That became a hit, and they were like, okay, let's see if we can apply the premise of Extreme Makeover to another genre, but with this twist.
To do that, ABC taps producer Tom Foreman to put a new spin on reality renos.
Tom Foreman had done a documentary about the Twin Towers falling, which he won an Emmy for. He came from a news background, which gave his view of reality a real fresh take.
Foreman's fresh take? Completely renovate an entire home from top to bottom in just 7 days.
Hey guys, listen, we're about to pull up in front of the house that we're renovating, okay? Let me tell you about the family. They're awesome. They're really sweet. They couldn't deserve this more.
Extreme Makeover Home Edition is a show where we take a family that has gone through some kind of hardship. Their house is in disrepair or too small, and we would make over their house so it was bigger or more beautiful.
Bus driver, move that bus!
It was a somewhat altruistic gift to a family that needed a break. I'm Michael Addis, and I was a field producer on season 2 of Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
I'm Emily Sinclair. I was a field producer on the first 3 seasons of Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Good morning, Powers family!
The pilot episode introduces the world to Ty Pennington and his talented team of makeover specialists.
So listen, let's go inside and see your house.
Ty was just extremely charismatic. He's a good-looking guy.
I wish I could go into detail what I'm actually doing, but I can't. It would really spoil the surprise.
Ty, he has boundless energy. He never got tired. He was always inspired.
They're about to receive the surprise renovation of their dreams. If these 6 designers can just stop arguing long enough to get the job done.
At first, the show's creators go with the tried and true reality TV formula of manufactured drama.
We are wasting time because it's not committed to a drawing. Stop interrupting me.
The original inception was to make an entertaining show about 5 kooky designers who were fighting over a design.
$250 here.
Yeah.
You're sort of rolling over the cost thing here. We don't even spend that on sofa.
They tested out the series with focus groups, and the focus group folks just kept dialing down on their little meters every time the designers were fighting. And then every time that they would have a happy, good-natured moment where they're all working together for this sweet family, they would dial up the dial.
That's wonderful!
When that shifted, everything else shifted too.
Come up with a plan. I'll be back, but let's make this one a really good one, guys.
ABC retools the format, cutting out the conflict and amping up the inspiration. Viewers eat it up, with an average of 12 million people a week tuning in to 2003's first season.
About 10 months ago, my mom passed away from a heart attack. And then 16 days after that, my dad passed away.
We were looking for a really great story. A story that would tug heartstrings.
All of her possessions are now completely contaminated by floodwater. Oh.
Usually that was where the magic was.
Make this place extra fun.
We were also looking for telegenic kids that were cute.
I would like Mama to do pink.
Pink?
Kids that could really talk, you know, and emote.
You want to be on what?
When season 2 rolls around, the Oakvath family from Arizona check all the boxes.
My name is Cassandra Benton, and when I was 7 years old, I was on Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Extreme Makeover Season 1 had just come out about the same time my daughter had started treatment. So we were watching in the hospital room as a bonding experience together. I knew I was going to cry because I don't like thinking about this. My name is Nicole Oakvath, and I was on Season 2 of Extreme Makeover Home Edition. My daughter Cassandra was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, high risk stage 3, that made it that she had less than 8% chance to survive.
When you're 6 years old, you don't even know what that 8% means.
Between Cassandra's cancer treatment and looking after 6 other kids, the family is drowning.
With our savings money basically depleted, it did put a lot of extra stress. Just a hard time in our lives. But Extreme Makeover was something that we latched onto.
You'd see all these families, and it was like very uplifting, and you're just like, wow, that's so cool. You know, like, I wonder if they could do that for us. I asked my mom, can we do this? Like, can we send in a tape? You think they'll do the hospital? And like, we thought about it, and we're like, they do people's houses. Like, you know, what's our chances?
What's the first thing you'll do with the money you get?
Paint the boiler rooms.
I had put together a video, and then I wrote a letter.
We prayed over it, and we sent it in.
Another family cast for season 2 live out in California. Their story is so tragic, producers see them as the perfect fit for the show.
We're on our way to Santa Fe Springs, California to meet 2 families under one roof. Now, the Higgins family have endured a terrible tragedy, and the Leomidi family have done everything they can to ease the pain.
I'm Jeremiah Higgins. When I was 14, I was on season 2 of Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
I'm Shari Alfonso. When I was 16, my siblings and I were on Extreme Makeover Home Edition season 2.
Just a year ago, the Higgins family was actually doing okay. Then Mom was diagnosed with breast cancer.
She was fighting it, and in 2005, she lost her fight.
I just broke down. My dad wasn't the same after she passed away.
A few months later, my dad died. They said he had heart failure. You lose your mom, your dad, you're thinking we'd never be a normal family again.
That left 5 kids between the ages of 14 and 21 without any parents or anyone to take care of them.
Their story has great potential.
From that day when they lost both their parents, we took them in as our children.
But it's not until another family, the Leomidis, volunteer to take them in that the episode gets greenlit.
We were contacted by the show. You know, they saw our story. They wanted to help us out.
They were very good at casting. Time and time again, I would hear their story and I'm like, wow, that's rough, that's a good story. It was real, and they were looking for real. I mean, like, you sometimes can't fake that kind of reality.
You know what our mission is. We can help and we can put some smiles on this family's faces. And the best news is they have absolutely no idea we're coming. Are you guys with me?
Yeah. There we go. The families deemed deserving enough all get the news the same way, with the megaphone-wielding Ty Pennington surprising them at their front door.
Good morning, Ali family! Good morning, Harris family! Good morning, Oakvaz!
It was just unbelievable.
Brian, Nicole, Cassandra, Gabby, Levi!
They show up, and it was happening. Like, camera's there, Ty's there, and they're like, okay, it's time, we're doing this.
Good morning, Higgins family, wake up! Come on out here!
My brothers and like the Leomidis, they just ran out, but I was just like frozen. I was like, what's going on?
We're excited. We're all in shock, in disbelief. We just lost our parents, so we're just like, this is happening to us. It felt like, you know, God answered your prayers.
It is really awesome to meet you guys, especially you, Cassandra.
In the Oakvaz case, they're here to make Cassandra's wish come true.
We want to help you make those plans happen.
Yeah, come on.
This family isn't asking for a makeover. Cassandra's one wish is that we help make over the children's hospital ward where she was treated.
Ty's goes, we are so touched by your story that we want to help you do the hospital. And I was like, yes, that's all I want, like, please. And I'm looking up at him like, you're my hero. Like, this is all I need.
So let's get you guys in the limo and off to Tucson. Make some dreams happen over there. You guys are wonderful for doing this.
Bye.
It's the perfect warm and fuzzy story for a Sunday night on ABC. But this particular episode comes with an epic plot twist.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
We were under the distinct impression they were not going to do our house.
Let's do it! Oh, what was it here?
The family has no idea. We just destroyed their house. I love my job. I really do.
I mean, invariably, the family got such an upgrade in their lives that the ending would be a happy ending.
No, there was no happily ever after that.
The house was not the normal house that we had. We now were suffering a financial tailspin.
An Arizona family who won a multi-million-dollar home on the ABC hit show Extreme Makeover Home Edition has put their home on the market.
Let's get this hospital painted and make it a better place. No more white walls!
The Oakvaz family is hard at work, painting the hospital in Tucson where Cassandra goes for her cancer treatment. Unaware, their house has just been leveled.
That was hard, being able to pull myself out of the sickness, to be able to bring it to the cameras was really hard, because, you know, they're like, stand up, you know, straight, or stand here, or move there, and I'm just like you're gonna move me, like it's hard for me to move anyway.
Cassandra wasn't healthy. She was still in treatment. She was still on a lot of pain drugs. And I was administering medication to her during the filming of this.
It was just constantly, we were up early in the morning, in bed late. And it wasn't like you could relax in bed and watch TV because they had our TVs off. We weren't allowed TV, we weren't allowed newspapers.
Doing something wonderful for the hospital, but we had no idea what was going on. We had No clue.
We weren't allowed anything to the outside world, and I thought, that's really strange.
While the Oakvaths toil away, the other families are treated to an all-expenses-paid vacation.
How does a Disney cruise to Paradise Island sound?
It was our first plane ride, our first train ride, our first time on a cruise, our first time in hotels, first time eating the food we ate. This is all first time for us.
All right, send me inside!
In order for the show to work, you had to send the family away for 7 days while the house is being built. My job was to oversee them and to film them on their vacation. I want to get as much footage as I can of them having a good time. But everybody who makes reality TV knows that these are civilians, they're not actors, they can't fake it. And I was like, guys, you gotta have fun today. I was like bummed if they didn't want to have fun. A lot of people don't.
It's hard to have fun, though, when you have just been through the most tragic events of your life.
Working with the producers on the show was a little intense because there's a lot more jabbing to know what happened to us, how we're doing, our parents. So then the emotions that we never got to let go or express, the death, the grief, all come out. It was stressful as a kid.
It was hard to have to repeat that, over and over again to them. It didn't seem like the producers really cared about how we felt. It was just about, we need to get this shot at this time, and you need to look this certain way, you need to say a certain thing. It was just entertainment to them, not really about how we felt.
Good morning, Leomides family. Good morning, Higgins family.
But they seem to be all smiles when Ty calls with big news.
Oh, this is a big moment. It's what we like to call demolition. And say goodbye to that house behind there because we're about to rip it down.
From hundreds of miles away, the families get a front row seat to their houses getting destroyed in the most dramatic ways possible.
I love demolition.
We always were trying to come up with a new way of demoing a house because after you've seen a sledgehammer go through a wall, you kind of know what to expect.
Oh no.
We had a wrecking ball plow through the house.
Miller family, we're gonna blow up your house!
We wanted to do it really quick.
Fire in the
It's not just the demo that happens fast. With just 1 week slated for each build, everyone's working around the clock.
They would rebuild this house, going from sometimes 1,200 square feet to 4,300 square feet. We'd add a whole, level, second story, and we do it in 7 days.
People often doubt that we can build a house in 7 days. Well, we do.
We had to make our time. We could not go over because we would have 2 days off in between, and then we started the next one.
We were really always trying to make something that was a spectacle. We were making some pretty drastic changes to the house.
This makes it one of the most expensive reality shows ever produced, at least in theory.
Building a house is pretty expensive. And so we really did have to rely on various companies to help make that build possible. Everything from nails, drywall, paint, bathroom fixtures. Often skilled trade was there working for free.
We got the best TV from Sears we could possibly get.
At the time, Extreme Makeover Home Edition was the largest product placement deal ABC had ever inked, with Sears for $1 million for brand integration. It's the concept of buying the American dream. They can't just go in and do structural improvements to the modest homes people already have. No, they have to turn a regular house into a McMansion filled top to bottom with outrageously expensive shit. They want us to feel like these products are the key to happiness.
The Oakvath home is the American dream wrapped in stucco and comes fully loaded with all kinds of shiny new things.
No, I guess this isn't gonna work. Now, if we're gonna surprise the family, looks like we're gonna need a bigger bus. Now that's what I'm talking about.
And as they finish the hospital glow-up, they have no idea what they're coming home to.
It was done. Everybody was excited. I saw the happy faces, and I was like, yes, I did it. Now let's go home because I'm tired.
Guys, you gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet for a second. They don't even know we're here, okay? I'm gonna call the limo. Hang on. Shh. Here we go. This should be good.
We're in the limo, and all of the windows are blocked out. And I get very car sick. So I was like, Mom, why are the windows black?
Putting it all together now, the very last second of leaving the limo, it dawned on me. What if they did do our house?
Hey guys, surprise! Welcome home, Oakbath family!
And door open, you know, there's Ty, and you're just like, wow, I wasn't expecting you to be here. All these people were screaming and excited, and my mom, you know, she's holding my brother, and we're just like, what's happening? I was not prepared at all, like at all. I had no idea.
It's the same vibe over in California as the Higgins-Leomides brood arrive home to a giant welcome.
Welcome home, Higgins family! Welcome home, Leomides family!
We pull up in front, the whole city's outside, our friends.
You guys like to see what's fun? Yes! Yeah!
In towns and cities across America, the whole neighborhood shows up to witness Ty Pennington say 3 iconic words.
Bus driver!
I tell you, that moment never got old. Like, to this day, I remember the bus pulling away and then the family's reaction to them seeing their house for the first time. That was a drug that I did not want to stop.
Bus driver! Move
Ty told him to move the bus. We saw the house, and I was just like, wow, it's bigger, okay? I was excited.
The house was really, it was a blessing. It was a dream.
So Cassandra, why don't you say move that bus?
Bus driver, move that bus!
There was this huge house in front of us, and I'm just like, wow. Like, I think you could maybe see that on my face. I was like,
Seeing the house was unbelievable. In every majestic way you can see a house. I will never, ever, ever, till the day I die, ever forget that feeling.
The shock and awe continues when they go inside.
Oh my God, baby, look! Oh my God, look at this!
I've never seen a TV that big. Just things you see on Celebrity's House, on MTV Cribs.
Don't take anything, yeah.
I would say the house like more than 4 times the size it was. Yeah, it was huge.
It was overwhelming. It's like, oh my gosh. It was, I guess you could say, surreal.
Now, nobody's seen it until now. You're gonna be the first. Check out your new bedroom.
I felt like a princess in a huge mansion. I remember going through it. It was so big that it was like shocking.
It was a mansion. It was huge. It was really huge. I had never seen a home like that size. I don't think ever in person.
On behalf of Taylor Woodrow, we're pleased to let you know that we're going to be taking care of the mortgage as well. The home is net.
Every time I walked away, I felt confident that these families really were in a better place, that they were truly appreciative, and it was just, you know, nothing but, you know, like we had done the right thing.
With 6 bedrooms, a state-of-the-art kitchen, and a movie theater, it's almost triple the size of their old home. And it all makes for great TV.
Our contractor ended up building basically the biggest house we've ever seen.
But while the house may have changed dramatically in 7 days, the family's dire circumstances remain the same.
We didn't ask that they completely remodel our house and give us this huge mansion.
It was an expensive house. Our first electric bill was like $2,200, which was way more than our mortgage ever was. And I about died.
Oh yes! It's 2005 Ford Escape Hybrid. Wow. Now here's the thing. To make sure you guys don't, let's say, fight over who's going to get to drive this thing, well, check this out.
In addition to a brand new home, the Leomidi Higgins family have also been gifted a driveway full of new cars.
When they lifted the garage, I was just like, oh my gosh, like all those cars.
There's a car for every kid that's old enough to drive.
The show ends with a bang. But behind the scenes, things take a sudden and drastic turn.
The night after they finished filming, me and my brothers, the Leomidis, and the producers, and Ty and them too, we all had a big dinner. Phil took me and Josh Leomidi aside and said, you guys are gonna tell the producers that you wanna turn your cars in so he can get himself a truck. He's like, I took you guys in, I deserve a truck. Phil told me to stand up and tell everyone that we're gonna turn our cars in. And I remember the producers being like, they had this face like they were confused. And I sat down and the producers, they could see that I was uncomfortable, but they just didn't ask. I felt like a part of them knew something was wrong.
With the cameras now gone, the audience only sees the happy ending, and their episode becomes one of the most watched of season 2.
Let's go, people. We got 15 hours till the family comes home.
Yeah, it was huge, huge. I don't think nowadays you could ever get a show like that that had as big an audience. So yeah, many, many, many millions of people.
Producers have found the recipe for home reno success. Big homes, big reactions, and even bigger feelings.
It's something I will cherish forever.
If they're feeling it, if that person is feeling it in the chair, then the viewer is gonna feel it. That's when, the magic happens. It was easy to make all the other designers cry on camera. Ty was tough. He was a bit tougher on that. I remember the first time I made him cry.
There's this moment. It's like this state of grace.
He got emotional in a way that I was not expecting, and there's giant, juicy tear rolling down his cheek. This super sexy, manly guy with his shirt off all the time, acting crazy. When he cries at the end, that's when we won our Emmy.
But not everyone involved in season 2 is celebrating.
I was doing everything on my end to try to get out from underneath these horrendous bills.
My mom was emotionally distressed about all of that, the bills and how we were gonna make it month to month. We had to shut down half of our house because, if the electric bill is too high, what do you do?
I could imagine their electric bill would probably triple, especially if these families were given pools or jacuzzis or specialty items, that maybe they weren't expecting that.
The light bulb for the movie theater was $900 alone. How is that even possible?
And we got you guys computers for everyone in the house.
Bills aren't the only problem. The very expensive contents of their home have also been televised nationwide, and it makes them a target.
There was times when our power was cut off and people would try to raid the house. I don't know if they thought we had money. I don't know if they just wanted everything in the house because they saw what was inside of it.
People think we are rich. We've had people steal from us. People believe we have hidden money somewhere.
There was a time that we were locking the doors, and as I go up to one of the doors, there's a man standing there with a hammer. And I just start screaming, this isn't real life, is this serious? I cannot tell you how many times the police were called for break-ins and people trying to get in. It was traumatic for me.
Inside the Leomidi Higgins household, there's a growing strain on the blended family dynamic.
A lot of the communication changed directly after the cameras left.
On camera, they were just hugging us, smiling, saying, oh, we love you, we're family. And then off camera, they just looked annoyed that we were there.
Phil was a very strict man. Sometimes he could be fun, but he was a very strict person, and you had to follow his rules no matter what. I constantly didn't feel wanted. And it was it was always something about my family. So degrading and, demoralizing, and it makes you not want to be there.
I just got to a point where I just stopped talking. when I was at the house.
They basically forced everybody into an uncomfortable corner. And one by one, they pushed everybody out.
Less than 6 months after their episode is broadcast, the Higgins kids have all left the house that was built for them, claiming they have little to show for it.
We came back to get our stuff. They wouldn't let me get any of my stuff. So all our parents' pictures were still there. The diary my dad gave me, like the last thing he gave me, was still in my room, in my drawer. They wouldn't let me get it.
They still had the cars. They still had all of our laptops. Because when we left, we didn't take nothing but the clothes on our back.
I believe the producers had a feeling of what was going on because some of them, they could see it, how Phil was treating me, but they didn't say anything.
The Higgins claim ABC producers were aware of the split, so they're stunned when the network airs their episode for a second time.
That's when we realized that we were just a show for them, like our story. We were nothing more than a story. It's the same people that we laughed with, that cared about telling our story, didn't care about what happened to us. We don't have a place to stay, and we're kids. The story's still running that we're happy, we're living there, people are seeing us jumping around, but yet we have nothing.
The calculated decision was for the financial benefit of ABC at the expense of the truth.
The show kept airing continuously, and that's when our brother was like, okay, we need to, go forward with a lawsuit.
We begin tonight with a hit series in the middle of a legal battle.
The Higgins orphans decide to put up a fight. They sue ABC, claiming the contracts they'd signed gave them an ownership stake in the home. They also sue the Leomides, alleging Phil wanted them to return their cars so he could choose one of his own, while also claiming they're unable to access their personal property, including items gifted to them by the show.
We just wanted our home. We wanted all our stuff back. ABC promised me and my family that we'd have a place to stay. And I think this was just for them to do right.
The Leomides denied the allegations, with their lawyer telling the press that it came down to the Higgins refusing to follow simple house rules. But the negative publicity surrounding the lawsuit goes nationwide, and it's not long before other stories about the show's casting choices come to light.
Everything changed after the TV cameras left town.
What they did to us was just wrong. Threw us all out.
A Las Vegas family featured on Extreme Makeover Home Edition is under scrutiny.
Now, they picked people for the show Extreme Makeover. Wait until you see the stunning list. You talk about exploitation. Extreme Makeover, get this, has a secret wish list of victims the show's trying to hunt down.
In 2006, the veil is lifted completely when the smoking gun leaks an internal casting email.
And they want to find an extraordinary mom or dad who's diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease.
It's unfortunate because I think that email that went out, it sounded really exploitative. It sounded like it was just, casting for the sake of a look. The thing is like once you do so many of these, you don't want to really continue to tell the same story over and over again. So I understand where that was coming from, but the manner in which people were spoken about was just kind of degrading, and it was a little bit gross.
So gross, the show is even spoofed on late-night TV.
This is a family that is literally better off dead.
Wow.
But they're going to be thankful that this TV show came into their lives.
That's right.
1, 2, 3.
Does that make us bad? If you say, I heard about this disease, and now I wonder if there's somebody that is going through this that we could gift a new house to, is that wrong?
Guys, we put an elevator in your house. Check this out.
We were able to help their physical world improve dramatically, drastically, on a level that would never normally happen. I remember we put in a lap pool for someone with rehabilitating from an injury. We built a very special sensory room for this little boy who was autistic.
They want to find people who've been through these very emotionally fraught medical situations and exploit the emotion related to their tragedy or their hardship. There are so many ways in which this show would be fundamentally different if the goal was having and giving empathy to the people involved rather than extracting their pain and then performing a sense of compassion.
I'm John Whittington. This is our 100th episode.
The controversy doesn't stop Extreme Makeover Home Edition from celebrating a major milestone during its 5th season in 2007.
Congratulations on your 100th home and helping 100 families.
The special episode features some of the show's success stories as families come back to help with the new build and say thank you to the network.
Thank you just for giving us our life back.
Notably absent from the episode, the Oak Bass.
I was trying to sell anything to just pay the electric bill. So I ended up getting a loan. We had a limit of $200,000 and we upped it to more. It was getting more stressful.
Despite getting their house and everything inside it for free, the Oak Bass take out over $400,000 in loans just to keep it running. But they're in too deep.
We have to sell the house. I thought, this is not going to be a problem. It'll sell. We'll be done out of here and starting a new life, trying to establish, what we can salvage of our old life and put it together into a new. That's not how it worked.
If you're among the millions trying to sell, this was a very bad day.
In the next 4 years, 8 million American families are expected to lose their homes.
In 2008, the housing market crashed, and it just so happened in Arizona, it hit really hard, and you couldn't sell a house over $500,000. And that was us.
Today, none of the Higgins children live in the beautifully renovated house. Instead, they stay separately with friends.
After more than 5 years of legal battles, the Higgins children lose their case against ABC. The court rules the home they hope would give them a fresh start solely belongs to the Leomiti family. But they do claim a small victory in settling their case against the Leomitis.
The settlement we had with the Leomitis in court was only $50,000, split 5 ways. That outcome was pretty piss poor. The time that was spent, I think it cost more over the years than what was settled. We didn't even get back our property. We didn't get back none of our mom and dad's photos, our memories. That's the thing.
An Arizona family who won a multi-million-dollar home on the ABC hit show Extreme Makeover Home Edition has put their home on the market.
The Oakvath family isn't trying to get their home back. They're looking to unload it in the midst of the most severe economic crisis since the Great Depression.
Of course I wanted to keep the house. I wanted to try every effort to do that.
Eventually, the house sells for $540,000. Minus the multiple loans taken out, there's not much left to start over.
I think I walked out with $8,000 of that house. I had to just basically say, that was a nice life. We took an offer, and I just let it go.
It was sad. I was sad. I was sad because I saw the toll that was taken on my mom and my family.
Heartbreak for a Michigan family.
They aren't alone.
A Texas family which received an extreme makeover after Hurricane Ike, now forced to sell the home at a big discount because they couldn't pay the taxes.
It seemed on the surface like this wonderful altruistic experience being generously offered by ABC.
Her dream home has become a nightmare.
We've been evicted.
ABC's viewers, of course, never got to see any follow-ups about the homes that were foreclosed upon after Extreme Makeover left.
The Vardens feel very fortunate. They know that they are not the only ones out there in a situation like this.
Many of these homes had such exorbitant increased tax rates that the families couldn't pay them, and it added to their financial burden.
The house has been up for sale for almost a year without any luck.
I mean, the biggest thing was having to tell my kids that I lost their house.
The Extreme Makeover home sits on the market, a strange twist to what was supposed to be a dream come true.
Sometimes there are things that happen to people in life as a one-off event, and then sometimes there are things that continue to happen, problems that continue to arise. And, you know, we can't fix that kind of thing. You know, at some point the show must go on.
The show does go on, making $500 million in ad revenue over the first 2 seasons alone. For ABC, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
They are getting rich off of your story. If you will actually have your life and your family's financial position negatively impacted over the long term because of the 1 week they spent with you, from a corporate ethics point of view, it is their responsibility.
I don't think they understand the repercussions of what they were doing. And I think they should take responsibility for that.
We suffered great financial strain. We suffered great issues because of this. And it's not just 7 days of a building of a house. Those 7 days have impacted our life for the rest of our life.
Wow. This room used to be just plain white, and it used to be my room.
I'm thankful for the show, for doing the hospital. And all the time, I think, you know, that changed a lot of kids' lives. And to me, that's what I wanted, and that's what was important. But doing our house, I would have never had them do our house like that.
Let's make it happen. Are you with me? Yeah! Well, then let's do it!
The show has moved to Friday night in its 9th season.
Say goodbye, everybody!
And as ratings slide, it's eventually canceled.
That's what you call taking a house down.
But in 2020, it gets another retooling with a new host, Modern Family's Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Hi, Nick. Thank God you were home.
And it aims to right the wrongs of the past.
I don't think there's any point in doing a reboot unless you're going to rethink it a little bit. We can't give people mansions. We just don't have, we can't afford to. But also, they don't always need that. They just need a fresh start.
3, 2, 1, move that
The families of yesteryear don't get a redo. But life goes on.
Shall we move the bus?
Yeah.
So, Cassandra, why don't you say move that bus?
Bus driver, move that.
Oh, I was so cute. Even to this day, I still have people adding me on Facebook. You know, I'm so happy to see you from this happy little girl on TV to this. I've had lots of wishes granted. Thank you, Jesus. You know, I survived cancer. I do have 2 amazing girls now, and I'm thankful every day.
I had my ups, my downs. It was tough, but I'm blessed. I go to church, I got a beautiful wife, beautiful family.
Now I'm married to my wonderful husband, Eddie. Now we have our daughter, Zelda. She's so cute.
We were happy at that moment, really happy. Because I have kids now, and I know that they're not something you can throw away.
Would I do it again? I'm not so certain on that.